Hi, I'm Crystal, and it's been over a week since my last upload, since the last time we just sat down and listened to some music together. But I need this, and that's why I'm so appreciative to all of you guys for sitting here and being with me and all of the wonderful, kind things everyone has been saying. I think this is such a beautiful, supportive circle that we have, and I want you to know that when the roles are reversed, I got you. And I want to be there for you the way you've been there for me, and you've made such a difference. This comes from the bottom of my heart and from nowhere else other than honesty and appreciation. That during this time where I have felt that I will never be quite as happy ever again, you have allowed me to feel a lot of joy and a lot of comfort, and even brought me to laughter at times with your comments, so I thank you. You have helped out a friend in a very dark place, and you should know that. And I thank you and appreciate you for that. Now, we're gonna get into the music. See, even the birds. Today we are getting the full serving of the Beatles Past Masters Volume 2, total of 15 songs, and we are starting off with the infamous Day Tripper, which I've heard so much about, but never actually listened to. So here's what we know. The lead vocal falls on John and Paul.
Okay.
Listening to this song was a very interesting experience because as soon as it started, I was like, oh, I recognize this. I recognize that line, that riff. The instrumentation was very familiar. I think I've heard it in movies, in multiple movies. But then once the vocal line came in, I had the complete opposite experience where I was thrown off and it was completely unfamiliar to me. So either I've heard this song before, but only the instrumental version, or that's the version that movies like to put into their soundtrack. All in all, this song was just a delightful, vibrant experience. It was major, it was ringing. It was in 4/4 time, right? I think it kept a steady pace. Right away, you know that this song is going to be packed with amazing vocal layering. The harmonies that are used just elevate this song to another level. And I love that sparkling percussion. It feels like it just continually adds to this transcendent elevation of the music. Gotta listen back to that vocal delivery. That rasp,
That growl,
that bite.
the element of the 12-bar blues keeps it moving along, keeps it at that steady, consistent, just plagued with interdimensional 7th chord. I felt like that variation in the melody really propelled the idea of this song just existing not on Earth. So as you can tell, I still don't have a piano with me, but I did this. I downloaded the tiny piano app on my iPad. So that melody only works in half steps, so those 3 notes are just clustered together, but they're also extremely high, especially for a male voice. So the way that they executed that, so hit the notes so clearly and precisely and just let it flow out easily is very impressive. It starts out on a C sharp, so long, C sharp to D, back down to C sharp to C. And it gives it that kind of Halloween eerie vibe. Moving on to number 2, we've got We Can Work It Out, lead vocal Paul.
Try to see it my way, this will be gone tonight. Life is very short, my friend. Cry, I'll ask you once again. That's all I want. For fussing and fighting, my friend. Try to see it my
Polarity in this song is just beautiful and so dynamic. It gives this song the presence that it has, because we could consider this
verse, chorus, which
I would like to come at this from an angle of seeing it as A, B, A, B, because the sections were so opposite and contrasting, and they did work together so beautifully. Bright section, but then we get into the B section where it feels like it's falling on its face. We're falling deep into thought, into a mind fog, and to confusion.
Do I have to keep on talking till I come?
The A section, adding to that easy feeling, we have that acoustic sound, the acoustic guitar that makes it feel so familiar and comfortable and so home-like.
There's no time fighting, my friend.
I think it's very important to note that although the drums are always spectacular and Ringo does his job, Mr. Ringo Starr is a star. In this song, he has so much responsibility that in that section where the rhythm flips, he kind of takes control of our life. He takes control of the song, and we're just trusting in him, and he does this amazing job of letting us down, 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 and then picking it back up again, and then reviving us and bringing us back up into the light.
Try to see my cry once again.
That ending is so beautiful. Is it a harmonica or a harmonium? It's all the instruments in this song work together so well. The ending kind of reminds me of the ending of the theme song of The Office.
I like it.
They're really good at choosing a theme and exploiting it, take advantage of that polarity that they're using, and they have this flip side. They have the major key and then the relative minor, and just two opposite ends of the spectrum on the same capsule, and that's what they did throughout the whole song. Number 3, we've got Paperback Writer, which is such a cool title. I can't believe I've never even heard of it before. Really excited to get into this one. Lead vocal, Paul, yet again.
Paperback writer. Is the right when you take a look. Paperback writer doesn't understand time. I can change it around.
This song was so fun. This song reminded me of the entire Revolver album, especially the Taxman. It's just in that vein, in that storytelling zone. The device they've used before was that they'll kick off the song as if they're starting a concert or a classical recital where they're tuning the instruments, it sounds like. And what they did with this song is that they did that vocally. They sounded like they were tuning string instruments with their vocals. It falls one after the other like a rain. It feels like it's raining down vocals, and very experimental. It gets very experimental, but they still incorporate that hard rock sound. In one of my past videos, I mentioned how the Beatles have these different lands, these different staples of the Beatles sound, a lot of different sounds that are very iconic and special to the Beatles, and a hard rock sound is one of those lands, but then the experimental sound of the Beatles is a different land, and I feel like in this song they merged two of those worlds, which they do so well. They know how to merge their worlds, but I think this is the first time I've ever heard those two worlds specifically merged, and that was really exciting.
Take a look. They started off by math named me.
That little flourish, the drrrr, I love it.
Steady job, but he wants to be a paperback writer.
We're set back on the straight and narrow path of
Rock and roll.
I can make a lot of it like the start, but I need a break and I wanna be a paperback writer.
With this song, we have this super fun and engaging story painted in major, and it's pulled together by this riff that's so compelling. It feels like when you're on the highway and there's a crime scene and you don't want to look because you want to be driving, you don't want the cops to know that you're distracted, but you keep on, averting your attention. That's what the riff is, because it keeps pulling you back in when you want to look away. Then we have a rich and savory bass that we feel throughout the entire piece. Then it's interrupted by these embellishments and these moments of experimental sounds and these the whole thing is just captivating and so much fun. Up next, numero 4 is Rain, lead vocal John. I don't know what to expect because as soon as I saw the title and I saw that it was Rain, I instantly thought of the Who song, which is Rain or Me. So I have that song stuck in my head. I have no idea how I'm going to take this song and how it's going to be. Every single individual choice and aspect of this song felt like a surprise and a gift. The first surprising and unexpected gift with the song titled Rain was how much this song felt like sunshine, right? We had that tambourine, we had the major, we have a magical glow. Knowing that this song is in a major key and it did sound like sunshine, it makes me wonder if this song was actually in fact in the designated sunshine key, G major. We'll see. I'm gonna pull out my little tiny piano. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think so, because I think that would just add so much more drama to this whole moment. There's so much more surprise and shock and happiness and wonder. As a side, along to the G major beautiful key, we have the time signature. Very simple, very easy, straightforward 4/4. At this point of the music, it feels like we have this concoction and all the different vocal layers add this new texture and add a new flavor that keeps on changing our drink. It has this layer of citrus and then in comes the background vocal. Then we have the glow of the tambourine, the guitars and the way that they play off of each other, or you could say the base of the drink, and then a lot of the extra flavor is sprinkled in or drummed along in by Ringo, and then it's all tied off in this chord progression, this rock 1-4-5. The moment where we have a ton of fake endings and stops and the continuations are the free refills after you're done with the drink, because you want it to just keep going and you want it to be bottomless and continue forever. Next up, we've got number 5, Lady Madonna. Vocal is Paul again, and this is another one where I've heard a ton about this song but never actually listened to the song at all, so I have no idea what I'm in for. This song was the most pleasant surprise about halfway through. Since I had heard the song being talked up so much, I thought this was going to be so different. So at first I was a little bit disappointed.
As one gets when they have expectations.
And I've been really good about not having expectations, which is why I haven't really, this is the first time I've met disappointment. But as soon as I started accepting the flow and nature of the song, I really loved it. And I loved the story of the entire Revolver album and the Taxman song. When we listened to a couple songs back, Paperback Writer, it's really fun to get involved in these characters' lives that they talk about. And a lot of times I know they talk about real people. You guys have informed me and let me know
What's what?
and the real life stories of people living and past that they tell.
When you pay the rent.
It has this big folky feel. It's very fun, it's very major and bright. The guitars are wonderful. And I noticed a theme of ascension. There was a lot of moments where the song was ascending, kept going up and up.
Up and up.
And then this song also plays off of this major complexity with the piano and this beautiful chords and the melody that's brought forth with the piano. Then we have the simplicity in the hand claps, and the melding of the two worlds makes it feel like a big family get together. Paul delivered the song in a different place in his vocal register to where his tone sounded different. Sometimes he completely sounds like a different singer. He has this depth and this more
earthy, connected, grounded sound
in his projection. Crazy cool thing about Paul having this full control over his vocal instrument is that he can make choices and he can make decisions. So even though he's able to deliver these powerful high notes that have such a solid foundation that he can really belt, and the option to just deliver it on the top without all this underneath as a stylistic choice, which he takes up, uses more locked in, stronger sound throughout the song. He makes the choice to hit this note to make it sound so special and like a little delightful present to our ear. He flips the sound and makes it have this light, airy presence. It has a lot more breath and it has a lot less control. It piques our interest and it makes us have this emotional attachment to that moment. I just love the harmonies in that moment. They're so beautiful. They're so tightly knit. They're not loose as some of their other harmonies can be. It's so dramatic and it's beautiful. And the song has this huge celebratory grand ball type of feel, and I think it's added in. I think that a lot of that is due to the added saxophone, the woodwinds. It's just this big feeling. Number 6, we've got The Inner Light, lead vocal George Harrison. And I feel like it's been so long since we've had a George vocal, so I'm so excited. The Inner Light, and that's such a beautiful name for a song. That was magnificent. Like we were transported from one celebration and then flown right over to a completely different continent. We went to the subcontinent of India and we had another celebration there. That goes along with the lyrics of the song because they say arrive without traveling, and that's what this song did. It transported us to this other world while just staying in our own seat. The line in there that said, the further one travels, the less one knows. I don't know if that's open to interpretation, but the way that I took that in was that the more you learn that you have more to learn.
The more you know that you don't know much.
Just within yourself, you don't have to seek the truth out of you. That's why it's called the inner light, because the light is inside of you. But the more you go seeking, the more you go learning that there is more to learn, and that a lot of that knowledge is within you. But it is good to expand yourself, and you don't have to expand yourself in traditional ways. The key was a little bit harder for me to decipher in this one. I feel like it existed in a very special mode, very special tonality, a lot of play in the song. We were provided the magical escape of the diminished chord and this eerie, haunting, yet very welcoming and warm sound. Passage feels like we're going into a little secret place, a little secret garden. We feel so at peace with ourselves and one with the world, yet secluded and alone in the universe. That line in the woodwind, like the strings provide this comfort and this grounded feeling, like we're safe, we're connected to the earth. Everything that was incorporated into this song felt like it fit this entire message so perfectly. We're going to tackle Hey Jude. And of course, I don't live under a rock. I've heard this song before, but I've never come at it with an analytical mind, never in context of the Past Masters Volume 2.
Hey Jude, long and make it better. Go out and get her. Feel the pain. Hey Jude, refrain. That it's a fool who plays it cool. Don't let me down. So let it
felt this song with every fiber of my being. It has this very big band feeling. We have the orchestra going on, we have strings and violin, and we have a beautiful, beautiful piano.
Don't make it bad. Remember to let her into your heart.
So to me right now, I'm receiving this song is there are tough times that come with life. It's inevitable. The longer you live, the more you see. The more you see, the higher the likelihood of chances are that you might run into things that you aren't ready to face. Take a sad song and make it better. Find the good, find the silver lining, and even if there isn't one, make the best of it. And the way that it's tackling this feeling actually has been a way that I've found very helpful. When we cut over to the end, it feels like this sense of community. It feels like people rallying and gathering together and coming together to make things better so that you don't feel alone. And that's been something that I found a lot of comfort. Aren't words to really convey every single feeling, so I'm going to try my best. When you know you're not alone, you know that someone else has been down where you're at and you can see that they've gotten through it, or they're probably still going through it, but they're offering you what they've learned. And just standing together, being able to breathe together, being able to come together is so much more powerful than I would have ever guessed. Because I've heard those cheesy sayings all the time that we're stronger together, we're better together. I've heard that my whole life, and I've always repeated it because I know that it sounds good, but I never knew the actual value of what it does mean to stand together with someone. Even a smile, a word of kindness goes so far. And like I said before, I know that this song has other previous connotations I've heard, I know, but that's just what I'm getting from the song right now. I feel like the Beatles are really good about that. They're really good about having multiple hidden messages or open for interpretation. Heading off into the more technical side of things and adding to the sense of community, it's major. It's major, and I feel like people are brought together with major. Minors are beautiful, and they're very contemplative, and they're moments to, stare off into the distance and really lose yourself into thought and find yourself deep within. But then major is more external. It's more finding out who you are in the world and how the world can be there for you. It's more of a relationship. And then that line, let it out and let it in, I feel like that's open to interpretation. So this is my interpretation at the moment. Let it out and let it in. Let out that emotion. Don't be afraid to show your sadness, your despair, your anger. Just let it out. Don't let it build within you. Let it out. And then you have space now to let in goodness, to let in help from other people. Give and take, like a bank. Withdraw and deposit.
You know what I mean.
Can't explain. Overwhelmed. Up next, we've got Revolution. But I remember in the White Album, we did Revolution 1 and we did Revolution 9. So we'll see if this is any different from either of those. This one's just Revolution, no number. If it's not any different, we're just gonna skip the analysis part and just enjoy the music. And if there is some difference, then that will spice things up and make it exciting. So let's get into it. And I think the lead vocal is John.
Say you want a revolution, hell, you know, about destruction. With brother, you have to wait.
This version of Revolution had a zest. This had a spice. We'll leave Revolution 9 out of this. We're just gonna concentrate on Revolution and Revolution 1. Here in Revolution, we have so much distortion. It feels like every single instrument is playing to the max, or is playing out of a blown out speaker, like everything's broken, and it feels like we're at this live, fresh, fun concert. We're part of this crowd that's full of enthusiasm and excitement and all this hype that's going on. If I had to choose between which revolution I'd rather listen to, I would choose this one just because it was so engaging. I really had such a fun time with it. It was still major. It was still pretty much the same song, but the delivery and the instrumentation, and I feel like everything else played along into that vibe, into that elevated, high energy zone. And for this song, I think that works better. Certain songs, different vibes work better. I love acoustic versions of songs, or more pulled back and more restrained versions. And normally for the Beatles, I love their slower things. I love their minor things. But for this song, I thought this was the way to go. They did an excellent job, and every second of the song was a party. I want to take a look or a listen back to the song to narrow in on these sections that really gripped me. Even just starting off with that, that sets off this very Kiss-like atmosphere. I can see the smoke starting to come up on the stage. I can see them springing out from the ground, which I don't know if they ever did that. You can tell me if you know of any of their concerts or performances where they like jump out of the ground. But I feel like if they would ever do that, it would be at that moment.
You tell me that it's evolution, well, you know.
There we have very clear vocal layer. Hear that extra voice in the sound, and it makes the sound come out a little bit stronger. It adds this secured presence.
Don't you know that you can count me out? Don't you know it's gonna be?
The drums pair so well with the falsetto vocals. They kind of create this duet amidst all the other chaos going on and all the instrumentation and the rest of the music. Right there at that moment, those two double up as the center point focus, and they kind of play off of each other. That distorted sound in the instrumentation, we can hear the distortion in the guitars and how amazing the bass line is and how everything just plays together so well. It melds. Up we've got Get Back, which we've already put in our analysis time, so it's just gonna be a treat. We're just gonna listen to it. We're just gonna party together, okay? Our lead vocal is still Paul. I didn't remember that song being so fun. I remember liking it, but I didn't remember enjoying myself half as much as I just did. I want to bring back up the conversation of Paul's vocal ability and his control. This is a song where his placement was way different than in a previous one where we talked about how he was very earthy and grounded. And he was able to engage this lower register and this lower demeanor, a booming part of his voice where he can project, where he doesn't necessarily have to yell, but his voice has more volume, it has more depth. This one he was able to flip it back up into this more, I wouldn't say nasal, but it's like up here, like up in the top of your head. It's a little bit airier, it's a little bit lighter. It reminds me of honey because it's just it's a little bit sweeter. It's sweeter, airier, breathier. It's a very easygoing sound, and it works so perfectly with this song and the way that it all comes together. It's very folksy, it's laid back, it's comfortable, it's very home. I love what they did with the dynamics right there at the beginning. There was this escalation that built anticipation. It started off soft and it grew and grew and grew, and when the instrumental seemingly became explosive, the vocal came out, and it came out sweetly and didn't pair along with the actual explosion, which added this other layer of interest and intrigue to the song. It felt like we were on this really pleasant ride. It's so beautiful to take in. It's just so good. It's just so good it can't be ignored. I feel like the highlight of the vocals can be seen in his delivery of Get Back, the actual title of the song right there in the chorus. Next, we have Don't Let Me Down, vocal John.
Don't let me down. Never love me like she does. For the first time. No bad.
So many things to say, so many different directions to go in. I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to start.
Don't let me down.
That section is flooded with all these falsettos and these really high register head voice screams and pleas of despair. You can tell that Don't Let Me Down is being sung by someone who has been let down, and that this is a moment that they cannot afford to be let down. There's a cry from the soul.
Don't let me down.
And it's impossible to not fall desperately in love with the electric piano there, gliding over our soul. This song is like a vat of quicksand, and I feel like I'm falling deeper and deeper and deeper. It's frustrated and it's pained.
Love me like she does.
The way that Ringo performs the drums in this song, and the way that it intertwines with the bass line, has so much gravity.
Don't let me down.
We have a little bit of instrument to vocal mimic. Here, they do a great job of mimicking the drum. Very percussive delivery. Don't let me down.
Don't let me down.
The way each word, each note, each syllable was hit, it was struck, and it was placed in the forefront of the apparatus. It's very decadent and indulgent. I feel like this song could be used for a Dove dark chocolate commercial. It's very appetizing.
Don't let me down.
The harmonies and the layering of the vocals, just every new element that's added into the song, I feel like tops the last element. This song is my compass at the moment. I'll be listening to this song over and over and over again. I can guarantee that to you. The Ballad of John and Yoko, vocals are on
John Lennon.
Trying to get to Holland or France. Give us a chance, Christ, you know it ain't easy. Crucify me. Honeymooning down by the Seine. You know how hard it can be. Paris to the Amsterdam Hill by me. Last night at the YMCA, made a light trip to the end. You know it ain't easy. Waiting to go in. They're gonna crucify.
Sorry, I had to pause and get a jacket because I am freezing. That song was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I had no idea what to expect from the title, The Ballad of John and Yoko. Vacation, tropical vibe. It was very laid back, although the lyrics were, "They're gonna crucify me."
Standing in the dockets of Hampton. Try Christ, you know it ain't easy.
The instrumental line definitely helps to add to that sensation of tropical vacation, island relaxation. There's also a maraca going on. The way that the different guitars are being played together, the way that it's being handled very carefully, it's being navigated in this certain Margaritaville has that do you like pina coladas kind of feel. Like I'm starting to already build a playlist with this song.
Honeymooning down by the Seine.
This song is another example about how they're so fun and they're able to compose really funny stories within their music. And they so geniusly handle their narrative stance, and they tell a story the way that they want to tell. We're able to see through their lens.
Crucify me.
Say this is a cruise, we're on a cruise, and that part feels like we're like going down a crystal stairwell, or there's a chandelier that has diamonds that are cascading downward, falling so beautifully and elegantly. I'm so glad that this song exists. We gotta hand it to Ringo on these drums. I will still stand strongly behind, with conviction, the fact that this is a tropical cruise vacation. Elements that are so basic and that could be performed in so many different ways. Major, and it's a 4/4 time signature. Other times, a major 4/4 time signature can sound very rock and very bam and present in your face and like screaming and like angry, but then sometimes a major key with a 4/4 time signature can sound very folksy. I really love how this one voices through. Up next, we've got Old Brown Shoe, which is a bizarre name.
No idea what to expect.
But I see that our vocals are George, so I just have to listen to it again, and then probably again, and again, and again, and again. Oh, little transition, that chord change. I'm reeled. For some reason, that small little melodic moment that I'm so in love with reminds me of Elton John. The production of the vocal in this song feels very pulled back, which was one of the first things I noticed. It feels like it's coming out of an announcer speaker, like at a baseball game or something. Like there's some filter over the sound. And what that does is that it distributes the focus of the song, so I feel like there's a lot more prominence in the instrumentation. I feel like with this song, I really am leaning a little bit more on Ringo's drums, a little bit more on the guitars and the way that they're playing together. I love that line right there, you can hear it. There's like a Hail Mary right at the end where we're pulled up right at the last minute and shot up immediately. That's the tension resolution. I'm gonna play off of some of the things that I said for the last song. We had a 4/4 time signature and we were in another major key, and yet we had a completely different sound, as if every element was different. They are just able to flip it on its head and create masterpieces. What I will say is that the quality of the sound in the instrumentation was very unique. There was very unique instrumental sounds. It had a lot of character in the way every instrument was played, unique vibrance, and the timbre and the tone was so beautiful, and it was carried out throughout consistently. Next, we've got Across the Universe, which we've already done, so this is going to be another moment where we're sitting it out and just listening, which I know we could skip right over it, but why would anyone ever want to skip right over this song?
Paper cup, they slither wildly as they sorrow. Waves of joy are drifting through my life. Nothing's gonna change my world. Images of broken light, Jack and Rudy. Nothing's gonna change my world.
It's a completely different arrangement from the one that we have previously listened to. This one felt like it was sped up. It felt like it was a little bit more natural, a little more earthly, a little earthier, a little more acoustic. But you know, the biggest thing was the pacing. It felt like it was a bit faster. And for this song, I think I prefer, the last time we've listened to this song, I think I liked the cosmic element. It felt like it was existing in space, and this one pulled it back down to earth. In certain light, this might work better for certain performances, for certain venues. I can definitely see the appeal to the song, and I could definitely see where I would be in a mood to probably listen to this one over the other one at certain circumstances. But if I had to choose solely off of preference, I would prefer the other one. But you can't go wrong with Across the Universe. It's still a beautiful melody. The vocal delivery is still excellent. It's amazing. I hold this song with my heart very tightly. I love this song. Next up, Let It Be, which we did the entire Let It Be album. So of course we've already listened to it. We're gonna listen to it again just as a party.
When I find speaking words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people, for though they may be parted, shine until tomorrow. Wake up to the sound of music. Yeah.
I really needed to listen to this song because people can tell you that to not have regrets. You know, you can know these things, and you can understand these things, but to actually feel them is hard. To not look back, to not think about the what ifs or the I could have, I would have. You know you shouldn't think about those things, but you can't help yourself but to feel that way too. To hurt over the things that you don't have control over. But that's why the Beatles are so wonderful, because with their songs, they can make you feel those things. Losing my dad is the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And it's not getting easier for me. The grief, but then there's also the guilt, and there's also all the things I wish I could go back and do. Like, I wish I could have had him in this video with me. I see why he really liked the Beatles. I wish I would have listened to him sooner. And one of his final advices to me was to stop worrying so much. And that's another thing. There's another thing that people say to do that you can't just do just because, someone tells you, or just because you have to. But when someone finds a way to make you feel it, the way the Beatles have found a way to make you feel it with their music, that's powerful. To be able to affect someone is so rare. Not anyone can do it. The fact that they were able to not just affect one person, but every person that listens to their music at one point or another. I'm so glad that they existed. I'm so glad that my dad got to listen to them. I'm so sorry, this took a very emotional turn. I promise I'll reel it in. Because we're on the last song. We're on You Know My Name, and the vocal is on John and Paul.
You know my name, nothing on my. You know. Good evening and welcome to Slaggers. You know my name, look up my number, and ring, ba 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 ba. No, you know my name. You know my name. You know my name.
I just want to stop because I'm going to forget this, but this part right here, this was somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. This section, I'm guessing, is about to be, because it's right, the song is just a whole bunch of different characters. This song is fun. This volume was so fun. Okay, wait, we're gonna keep going with the song. I was wrong. Okay. Okay. That one was really fun. I like the kooky part with the clock.
You know my name.
Oh, this part, it either reminds me of like a bar on vacation. Remember that vacation that we were talking about earlier, that tropical cruise? This is like the lounge singer that performs while everyone's, you know, having their margaritas. This guy's there. Ba 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 ba. He's singing like, while everyone's, you know, drinking their margaritas or their martinis, he's like, ba 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 ba, you have my name. Michael Bublé would be kind of Frank Sinatra. Maybe a Barry Manilow vibe.
You know my name.
Every bit of instrumentation in this song, the way that it was handled and executed, it was brilliant. Crazy. It was crazy. Gosh, it's just, there's nothing they can't do. When I was younger, I thought the Beatles are so overhyped.
Why does everyone only talk about the Beatles in the vast world of music?
This music is still living to this day. It's because they created something that has a heartbeat. They created something that doesn't just open and close and then shrivel away. They created something that opened up and took off and had a life of its own. Music has its own life. Each song stands alone. There's so much talent, and there's so much skill, and there's so much thought that's put into every song and every aspect of every song, every second. There are so many details, and there's so many things that, even the meanings behind the song. I think we've wrapped up our past masters, and I'm ready to go backwards in time into the Beatles album 1, Please Please Me. I've still not gotten back on my weekly listening. I'm very sorry, because I did like doing that, updating you guys about that. That was another element that made this fun. That next video, I will go into explaining why I even started doing these videos in the first place. I'll go into detail about why. Thank you for going on this past masters journey with me. I'm sad that it's over. I have to say, even though I've been trying to be as impartial as possible, if I want to be honest with you guys, I gotta say, I liked Volume 2 better. It was so much fun. This was such a fun album to listen to. I can't wait to listen to it again. I think that once I'm done filming this, I'll listen to it top to bottom again. I can't express to you how valuable this time was to share with you and with the Beatles and this amazing music. It really did a lot of good for me. I'm in a completely different headspace now, because I feel like with everything going on, things can get cloudy, and I think another thing I'm scared of is of losing myself a bit. Thank you for sitting with me and putting up with all my drama. I'll have a little bit more decorum and professionalism from here on out. But it's good to let yourself feel every now and then. You know, we're humans. It's what we do. I hope that you have an amazing, amazing day if you're just starting your day off. And if you are about to go to bed, I hope you have the sweetest dreams. I hope that you're feeling well. And if you're not, I send you all of the healing energy possible, and I will be thinking of you. Write to me. Tell me how you're feeling. It's important that we celebrate when we're feeling good. So let me know wonderful things that happen to you, and let me know when something isn't right, so that I can be thinking of you, and we can all form this community around each other and rally around each other and uplift one another. Bye.